I need to make this customer a long-time customer, not one visit, see you later, in and out.
Leading a 120-person team, Scott Irwin reveals the secret to lifetime customers.
The reason I want to do that is because marketing costs reduce and you get to build long-term friendships with great people that will always use your service. So the secret here is don't go short, play the long game. Really important. And that means just that every little bit of service, the callback, the follow-ups, are you happy? What could we have done better? Just this stuff to get into people and say, hey, these people really care. You've got to be very different. There's so many plumbers out there and electricians who just do just that. And there's so much more to having a service business than just fixing the freaking tap.
Mr. Irwin, welcome back to the Site Shed.
Mr. Jones, always good to see you.
Thank you for joining us this morning.
Pleasure.
Back in 2026, full steam ahead.
Absolutely doesn't stop, really. Just keeps rolling and rolling.
Mate, I've asked you to come on the show today for a couple of reasons. I wanted to get your insights into a conversation that we see happening all the time with especially plumbers in relation to, well, truthfully, the conversation sort of stems from like cost per acquisition and the zoomed in version of looking at, say, spend on marketing related campaigns against the zoomed out version of what a client should be worth them over the course of a lifetime. So we call that lifetime value, or LTV, in the game. So that's one thing I wanted to talk to you about. And then the other thing was the whole dynamic. And truth be told, I have had so many people come on the podcast on this topic and on the topic of memberships. And every single one of them has just slowly started gravitating into lawn care and air conditioning. And I keep saying, I don't give a shit about lawn care and air conditioning. I want to know about plumbing and electrical. Shut up with the lawn care. And so I am under the belief that memberships for plumbing companies are complete horseshit. But I know you've probably got a lot more insight into this after building an empire. But before we do jump in, can you just give the listeners that are maybe not didn't listen to your last podcast a bit of a rundown as to who you are and what you do?
Okay, well, I'm Scott. I run a plumbing business called Network Plumbing in Sydney, and we're 120 staff here from memory, doing across all three facets, or four. We're doing handyman, plumbing, electrical, and HVAC. And I've been at it since 1987. Man, that's a long time. Wow. So, and I've got a great team, fantastic team that run this business for me, and which is going really well. So we'll all steam ahead for 26. Looking forward to it.
So for you guys that want to learn more about this, there's going to be links in the show notes to episode 439 with Scott, where he was talking about the whole network plumbing journey. And then there's another episode that I did with Scott where we're talking about designing your ideal life. That was episode 440. So there'll be links to that over in the show notes. You can head across and just search Scott Irwin, IRWIN, on the siteshed.com, and you'll find all of these episodes. However, Scotty, today, as I mentioned, we are here to discuss, well, we may as well start on the topic of, lifetime value. I guess the general feedback that we often, I would say feedback, but observations and conversations that we have to address early in the piece when we're working with, plumbing related companies is the fact that if you're putting all of your metrics and gauging all of your success based on like month to month cost per acquisition with various campaigns and so on and so forth, then inevitably you're not getting the full picture. And a lot of people fall into that trap. It's very different to say, like the renovation business or whatever, where you're like, okay, well, we spent this much on a lead and we know over the course of 3 months it will result in a bathroom renovation. Typically, like that's kind of a bit more black and white. But when you've got a business model that's so conducive to recurring, repeat clients, I think people really need to get an understanding of the value of what that actually means over the course of that lifetime.
Yeah, definitely. So what happens, right? If you ring a plumber and they come to your house, do you really want the plumber there? Not a snowflakes. You've got to have him there because you've got a problem. So wrong one, right? So therefore, the idea that the belief of the plumber should be, I need to make this customer a long-time customer, right? Not one visit, see you later, in and out. The reason you want to do that is because marketing costs reduce, and you get to build long-term friendships or clienteleships with great people that will always use your service. So the secret here is don't go short, play the long game. Really important. And that means just that every little bit of service, the callback, the follow-ups, are you happy? What could we have done better? Just this stuff to get into people as hey, these people really care. You've got to be very different. There's so many plumbers out there and electricians who just do just that. And there's so much more to having a service business than just fixing the friggin' tap.
Yeah, well, I mean, the cons of doing it that way are the fact that you are always chasing, like you become so heavily dependent on lead acquisition, and it's that churn and burn mentality, and we see it all the time. In contrast, having like a healthy database of regular recurring customers that, yeah, sure, you never need to stop marketing. I'm not suggesting that, but you can certainly mitigate and reduce your dependency on platforms like Google or Facebook or newspapers or letterbox shops or whatever it is, if you put this into play as part of that ecosystem.
It has to be part of the ecosystem. You
Yeah.
cannot not have it. If you think you're just going to survive on churn and burn, you won't be here. Your acquisition costs, your marketing on revenue spend 20% plus, you're in the hole. You're done.
Yeah.
You cannot do it. You have to. The most important part, right, is long-term customer satisfaction. They want to call you. They want you to be top. You want to be top of mind for them, and that's really difficult for people, right? So even I know myself, when you call trades and people go, "Geez, that guy's good," but you forget who they were. Just like busy, so you've got to keep in front of those people as well, so they remember to call you.
And so, what are some of the ways that you guys have successfully done that over the years?
Well, after we complete a job, in a perfect world, we would do a happy call.
Yeah.
Right. And everyone says they do it, but you got to do it consistently on every freaking call, right? To get it right. And then we would send.
And what is a happy call?
It's a call to say, hey, you had Bob there today. How was he?
Yeah.
Are you happy with the result? And generally that conversation goes this way. It goes, yeah, you're freaking expensive, but fuck, you're good, right?
Right.
And that's what you want. Because the last thing you want to say, oh, you're cheap and you're good. Because then you're doing the wrong thing.
And so is that a conversation that would typically happen from a manager?
Yeah, typical manager or an outbounder in our CSR system, right? We'll bring them in. And then if the person's unhappy, we flick it off to a manager to ring back and say, oh, here, you're unhappy. What could we have done better if we got to go out there? That there, right? This is where you really make two of my best customers came from callbacks.
Really?
Yeah. And they spent one spent $3 million with us over their lifetime. One spent over $1 million. All from us fucking something up royally. Wow. And us turning back up and say, hey, yeah, we did it wrong. I'll fix it. No dramas. And it was the fact that we just turned up and did it. We didn't bitch about it. We just went and got it done, and they were happy. They just kept piling work. Then the referral motor started, so all her friends started using us, right? And her first words were friends, hey, these guys aren't cheap, but they're friggin' awesome. And then the bubble we're in, it was good.
Quick pause for a second. If this episode's hitting home for you, do us a favor. Please give it a follow on this app. And if possible, please share it with someone that you think would also benefit. This podcast was brought to you by tradiewebguys, where day in, day out, we work with tradies and contractors that are looking for predictable, manageable systems to close more jobs and scale with consistency. It's a proven system that's focused on closing more jobs, not just generating more leads. We have loads of case studies and reviews on the website to back this up if you want to go check it out. If you like the sound of predictable, manageable, and growth, click on the link in the description or head to tradiewebguys.com.au and start the conversation. All right, back to it. So, I mean, I know you pretty well, and I know everything that you do, nothing's by chance, everything's kind of deliberate. So what sort of play do you put into action for like that whole referral dynamic?
Okay, so once we do the referral is that people like what I found, and this is just in my journey of being a plumber, right? People that we helped out of a jam like to recommend good people or their friends, right? There's no playbook on our end of it. We just need to turn up and be on point every freaking time. Now, I never once gave that customer who sent me $3 million worth of work a discount. Right. That's the other thing. Always primo service every freaking time. And that, but we never said, oh, we're not going to charge. And they didn't expect that. They didn't want that. A lot of people don't want it. People say, I'll give you a discount. I don't want a discount. I just want great service.
Mm.
People get that sort of mixed up a fair bit.
Mm-hmm. And is that sort of like, do you think, their way of justifying a mistake or trying to make it up to the person? We'll give you a discount.
No, I think it's just they feel that's their only default. I think everyone wants everything cheap or cheaper or something. I don't know. It doesn't work on my life. I don't play the game of how about a discount. It's just, I don't. It is what it is.
So when a plumber acquires a new customer through whatever measure it might be, doesn't matter, like letterbox shop, Google Ad, whatever it is, right? What are the levers they should be pulling to improve and enhance their whole lifetime value of that customer beyond that initial project? What does that actually look like, in your opinion?
Well, it starts with sense of urgency, right?
Right.
And then there's probably the gratitude and humble side on the other side of the job when you've finished it, right? And it's just like out of the blue, someone rings you. They just put a new TV or something in your home or whatever, and they ring you out of the blue and say, how's that all going for you? Is there anything else you need? It's just that caring that no one cares about, or no one goes that 1% price. Because you think of most tradies you work with, right? They're happy they do. And most plumbers always want to do a good job, we hope. But they don't really go into the care factor. This is my home. This is my life. And look after and go that extra bit. So then the people they feel bonded to you. Mm-hmm. And it happens.
Is there communications and cadence that goes out to these, customers at certain time periods?
Yeah, 100%, right? So straight away we have the happy call, and then a letter go out, and then probably that'll be in the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then there'll be a third every 3 months we'll touch or something. There'll be a text, letter, email, whatever, preferably not email. It's not good. And we continue that. We continue. And then if it's, say we do a patch or something, then we'll ring them and say, hey, look, you're due for your warranty inspection, free warranty inspection. Do you want us out? And we'll do that at 12 months.
Yeah.
And that's just making that a process that doesn't get fucked up or lost in the day to day. You have to build that.
So, back in 1987, there wasn't Service Titan and all these amazing tech.
There wasn't an internet, was it?
Well, that's right. There was no internet. No phones, no internet. So, what did that look like back then? And then what does it look like today?
Okay, so obviously businesses are way smaller back then, right? Because you didn't have this massive medium of the internet to drive marketing through. So only marketing, realistically, yellow pages, papers, letterbox drops, radio, TV. Well, let's do it. Are out. So you really look for the three, and then it's word of mouth, right? Word of mouth was king. That was the best way to survive. Mm. And if you build businesses on word of mouth, you build a great business because people are always coming to you. So really advertising always stayed super low. I think in those times, our advertising would have been 3% or less. Mm. And now you'll see businesses running 15, 20, 25%. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, well, I think truthfully, it's because of that whole conversation around like that churn and burn mentality. And when they're looking at it directly, it's like, well, yeah, we might have spent that, especially when you look at new businesses, right, that are getting started, they're building that database. And they're like, you might have to spend more to build the database so that you can retarget and nurture and, get back in their house looking forward to reduce those costs.
Yeah, but if you churn and burn them, you ain't going back.
No, that's what I mean.
You've got to.
What I'm saying, yeah.
Got to keep them, right? And it's hard to make a business run when you're spending 20% on marketing. It just doesn't work. I don't know how the numbers stack. And then if you're not keeping a customer, that's even worse.
That's right.
So that's painful. So
yeah, if you look at, say, that, that spend initially, and then you, over the course of, say, 10, 15, 20 years, lifetime value of that. What is lifetime value realistically? 15 years?
That cheaper.
It's not really lifetime, is it?
No, it's 20. It's a third of a life.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, maybe a quarter, depending how long you live for, really.
So
if you get 20 years, I've got customers not out. So we're 37 years in, right? 38 years this year, and I've still got original customers.
right. And so those customers, you send them stuff, they respond,
They're more of a relationship now. 37 years, I know them. I ring them.
Right.
I'm asking for a coffee.
Yeah.
It's just that's the way. And then I've got patients, customers that turn into dementia specials, right? And it's so sad to watch because these people are young and vibrant when you start at like 60 when you met them, and now 50. Right. Now they're 87, right?
Right.
You start to see the hourly health system sucks. But yeah, but you've got to be. But that's all about being personal, people, right? People love people that are confident. No point sending a plumber to a house, any house, and the guy's kicking the dirt, not engaged, don't want to win the day, right? Waste of time, waste of call, waste of advertising. Your team has to be on point all the time and be open for change. Oh, that's not what we're fucking here for. We're here to do this. And I said, well, this is the job. And be adaptable to that. And that's what I see a lot of people don't. They all just kick the dirt.
Right.
Right. We're there. I think we forget that we're actually there for our customer to be a service to them, whatever it may be. And that's it. Do what it takes to get it done, to make them happy and go, geez, our plumbers are unreal. They did such a great job. I'll recommend them to people. They weren't cheap, but hey, it's awesome. Look how good this is. Yeah. But it all comes back to attitude of how they get on with that plumber.
And is that an attitude you can train?
100%.
Quick pause for a second. If this episode's hitting home for you, do us a favor. Please give it a follow on this app. And if possible, please share it with someone that you think would also benefit. This podcast was brought to you by tradiewebguys, where day in, day out, we work with tradies and contractors that are looking for predictable, manageable systems to close more jobs and scale with consistency. It's a proven system that's focused on closing more jobs, not just generating more leads. We have loads of case studies and reviews on the website to back this up if you want to go check it out. If you like the sound of predictable, manageable, and consistent growth, click on the link in the description or head to tradiewebguys.com.au and start the conversation. All right, back to it. Yeah.
But it also starts, like you've been through my interview process. It's pretty basic, right? I don't really give a shit what you've done, where you've been.
Yeah.
I want to know how good your manners are, because you're going into someone's home. And that's what really counts into the day is, good morning, how are you? Great place, whatever. It's all about manners.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of people haven't been taught that. You got to retrain that. That can be tricky. Mm-hmm. You look at all and we got some fabulous young kids here, and they're awesome. I put through a ton of apprentices because I believe in apprentices, right? And you'll find over the year, they're definitely more politer now than they used to be, but they don't look people in the eye. They don't have skill sets because of phones. They've never been taught how to shake a hand. All that shit's so important, right? It even goes down to collecting a Google review, getting paid on a job. This is all a skill that we never taught. We took for granted, right? But that's actually a skill set you've got to teach.
Wow. And so how do you teach that?
Training.
Yeah.
In life, one-on-ones.
Okay, today, kids, we're going to learn how to shake a hand. Is it like?
Yeah, that's as blunt as it gets.
Really?
This is how we shake a hand. We look in the eyes, shaking hands, we're shoulders, we're square, right? We're not intimidating, okay? Because no one fucking does it.
Amazing. Do you think that's a testament to, like in the wake of COVID conversations, or just?
No, that's all bullshit. No, this is just people getting slacked because they spend their whole life on a freaking telephone.
Okay.
And been texting and all that sort of shit, and they just haven't learned how to greet people. Is
this like the irony of social media making people antisocial?
100%. Yeah. It is. It's a very different world. I've just come away. I've been away with 23 people. Fucking 20 of them on the phone 24/7.
Really?
Go figure, right? It's just that is the life. Everything, Instagram, fucking TikTok, or whatever the fuck they're on. Right. And the trouble with that, they don't live life. That's the worst thing about it. They miss out on so much.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and it's amazing the draw. Like, I mean, I've got young kids, and they're just so drawn to devices.
Crack.
Like it's like crack. It's actually like crack. It's unbelievable. You've been through all that, I'm sure.
Yeah. It gets worse when they get older.
Right. Well, when they get their own devices, I mean,
they start just living on it, and it's a part of them. Like, guys, lose the freaking phone. Now, when I go, I know we're off track here a bit. I go out for dinner. I'll pay for everyone, but no phones. Pick a phone up. I'm not picking the tab up.
Right. Yeah.
to encourage that conversation. And our kids are very dear. We say, don't bring your fucking telephone to dinner. Don't want to see it.
Right.
Well, you won't be coming up the stairs, sort of thing. So that works pretty well. But when we go out as a group, I'm more than happy to shout the group, provided we're all fucking
Conversing.
And I find when I go out with I go with a bunch of older plumbers, right, my age sort of stuff. Even Coda, remember Coda?
Yeah.
We all go out together for once every 6 weeks for about 20 of us for dinner. And there's never a phone. It's easy. We just talk. It's just that old school. We go out with young people, all they do is talk on the phones.
Interesting.
Very different. That's the world we live in, but we got to adapt.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess like you say, adapt, but like training them is adapting, right? Like that's how you adapt.
We expect our kids. You expect someone a sales tax goes there, sells a job, plumber goes and completes a job right behind it. You got to train how he gets paid, how he collects the money.
Sure.
It's not just, hey, give us a check, I'm out of here. Hey, I've done the work. This is what you want to see how it works. This is really cool. These are all the benefits of it. Thank you. Can I grab a check, please? Or what can you transfer? What the fuck to pay? I don't know. But that's a trained skill set, right? It's not just grunt on the door and go hand out for cash.
Yeah. And so is that like I mean, I know the answer to this because for the listeners and viewers out there, like what does that training cadence look like with, your organization, and how is that structured through the layers of hierarchy
So we'll try and keep a pretty flat line here, right? So we get rid of the hierarchy bullshit. And we start and we train. I think we do sales guys one day, install guys one day, and apprentices one day every week.
And so that's just like a toolbox talk.
It's tool. We talk about what's been fucked up this week. We talk about what's awesome this week. We talk about what training's coming up. Okay. I think we do installs every second week and sales guys are doing apprentices every week.
Okay.
We're really big on the apprentices, right? Because we got to get them right, and we want them being able to talk to people quicker.
And is that a like a defined curriculum, or is that literally stop, start, key? This is what went well. This is what we need to do better.
We adjust it as we see fit as we're going through the week.
Okay.
And then we highlight. So we'll pick up something. One guy did something really good. We'll go, okay, let's mention that. That's what everyone should be doing. One guy nearly killed himself. We got to mention that one too, right? It's both sides of the sword.
Quick pause for a second. If this episode's hitting home for you, do us a favor. Please give it a follow on this app. And if possible, please share it with someone that you think would also benefit. This podcast was brought to you by tradiewebguys, where day in, day out, we work with tradies and contractors that are looking for predictable, manageable systems to close more jobs and scale with consistency. It's a proven system that's focused on closing more jobs, not just generating more leads. We have loads of case studies and reviews on the website to back this up if you want to go check it out. If you like the sound of predictable, manageable, and consistent growth, click on the link in the description or head to tradiewebguys.com.au and start the conversation. All right, back to it. Yeah, of course.
But training is so important to that, right?
And so when the manager's making the happy calls or whatever, that whole training element really, I imagine,
should be seen in there.
Full circle, right?
Yeah. You should be, you had Johnny here. He's friggin' awesome. He came and collected money. He shook my hand. I felt part of the process. That's what you want to hear.
So before we wrap this one up, I just want to, I suppose, maybe get your insight for any of the listeners out there, perhaps plumbers, sparkies, anyone that's in that sort of residential emergency kind of sector. What are some good frameworks and like both mental and practical that they can adapt to make sure that they have a continuing strong lifetime value with their customer?
Okay, well, first thing you got to do, right, is work on the manners. So you got to get your team up to spec, right? Yep. And the other thing is they got to smell good.
Yeah, right.
How many tradies come to your house that stink? Smoke, BO, shit, whatever, right? They got to smell good. It's one of our most powerful senses, right?
Interesting.
Okay, you want to look good. You want to be in a uniform. Right? All these little bits, these little 1% pieces all the way turn up to where you want to be. And a lot of people forget that. First impressions of everything, whether you like it or not, it still is. Do I take my shoes off? Do I put booties on? Whatever. It's just care of property. They're things that practically can be done. Mentally, it's the win on the game. I'm going to win. I'm going to keep this client. That's the conversation you have with yourself all the time. Most people don't do it because they're listening to radio or shit or some crap or what on their phone. But if you want to win the game, all the people that want to win the game are in the zone. All right? and make the best of it, most of every opportunity. Someone's calling you for a problem. They're going to call 3, 4, 5, 10 people. Make sure you're the standout. And it's not about price.
Yeah. And I was just going to ask you that, because we get so many, like, clients and, listeners and viewers and things like that complain, we just lose jobs on the price. Like we need to be cheaper to get these jobs.
That's someone that doesn't understand business or understand their game. It's not if that was true, Matt, I'd have one truck.
Yeah, sure.
No trucks, right? I've got 85 of them here in Sydney. So that's a bullshit scenario. That's just people looking for an excuse. Okay. Or you're working in the wrong customer base or advertising the wrong spot. Your customer shouldn't, very rarely, price comes up all the time, right? But value overrides price. Then you've got to build value.
So, I mean, I know I've sat in your office where you've had plumbers come in and you've trained them on these specific things like number of times. Like I've seen you do this. And what are some of the things that you like tell these guys and how to navigate that conversation around price versus quality in the interest of winning the job initially, but then obviously ongoing lifetime, value?
I'm sort of a little different. I've been around for 37 years, right? So now I go back on, hey, we're here for long haul. All these other people you're dealing with,
longevity.
Longevity's big, right?
Right.
Okay. It also comes with the other thing that ties them behind a sense of urgency to get shit done. Right. That's big for customers. So,
as in, we'll get out there as soon as we can and solve this problem.
We're on your fucking doorstep. We want you to work.
Right.
Okay, so really you've got to be a sense of urgency is right up there behind all that shit. Because a lot of people just take a call and go, yeah, I'll get there when I get there. All my mates that make no fucking money in this business, right, have that attitude.
Right.
Well, I've done all right, but not great. Is I'll get to them. They're our customer.
Right.
Right. You can't have that attitude. That's your friggin' life. I worked all weekends. You wouldn't know when you work. If the job came in and no one would do it, I'd take it.
Yeah.
Because it was cash. It was through the door. It was money. This is what we build businesses around. And then you pick up all these fantastic opportunities that you wouldn't have done. I'll leave it till Monday. Well, people aren't going to wait.
Right.
So,
especially in emergency services, right? Like we've got a lot of clients I just don't want to do. Can you turn the ads off over weekends and stuff? And I'm like, oh, it's not a good plan.
Because the customer that worse still, your existing customer rings you that spent tons of money with you, and the phone doesn't answer because I want a day off.
Mm.
You're not building it. That's not building a business. That's a circus.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and you raise a good point there. That's not building a business, and I think this is some traps that people fall into where they have that.
Well, that's because I think you remember at the tech and say, go work for yourself and work your own hours and do your own shit. What a crock of shit that is.
Yeah.
In this industry, right? If you want to build a business that's actually good, you've got to man it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And you work for your customers when they need you, not when you need them.
Mm.
Right? Because you need them all the time, but they only need you in a point of time.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of makes sense. And then you've got to do that.
Mm. Yeah, I see that.
But there's going to be, most people think I'm only going to work these hours and all that bullshit. Mate, that doesn't happen. If you're serious. And then you've got to start building yourself that business with great people.
Exactly.
And paying them well and training them well and getting them on spec, the same spec that you want to be on. And then you grow.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Mate, that's great. Look, we're going to come back in a separate conversation and we're going to talk about memberships and why plumbing memberships are complete horseshit. So for all you listeners and viewers out there that are interested in that topic and you'd like to hear from someone who has absolutely been there, then stay tuned for that conversation. Scotty, let's wrap this one up. Thank you again for your time and we will jump back in.
Talk soon. Cheers.
Hey guys and girls, how would you like all of the value adds left behind from our podcast guest all put together in the one spot? We've pulled every tool together, every template, every resource shared on the show, and we've packed them all into the Tradie Academy. It's free to join and it's built by the team behind the site shed and tradiewebguys. Inside, you'll get marketing tips, business tools, and first access to future resources, all in one simple dashboard. Just head across to tradie.wiki/pod. That's tradie.wiki/pod. The link's in the episode description. And once again, you just log in once and then you're all set. And if you want to get notified of upcoming episodes, hit subscribe or follow.